Right, hello and welcome to a piece of art, because that's exactly what it is. This is the Genesis Gran Berlinetta Vision GT concept. Now, I know a lot of people aren't really fans of Vision GT cars, but I think this is one you actually want to try out, because not only does this car look absolutely drop dead gorgeous, but it actually performs incredibly well. Because if we look at just the stats of this vehicle, well, we see that it produces 869 brake horsepower, it's 4-wheel drive, extremely lightweight, coming in at just under 1100 kgs, and it comes equipped with a super turbocharger. I don't even know what that is, but it makes the car extremely quick. So if someone in the comment section wants to let me know what a super turbo is exactly, well, that would be appreciated. But what I can let you know is how this vehicle feels around a circuit. Well, I'm going to be honest with you here, and we need to face the elephants in the room, and that is the braking system on this vehicle. It is the biggest issue, the biggest red flag, the biggest problem that I have with the Genesis Gran Berlinetta, because the vehicle, the acceleration is damn near instant. You find yourself traveling almost 300 kilometers per hour in a couple of seconds, and it's honestly quite impressive. But the issue arises when you need to slow down for a corner, because you can't. The brakes are just not it, and with the tire compound that's on the vehicle, well, you are gonna experience quite a lot of understeer. Yes, something that I didn't really expect to come and experience when driving this vehicle, but honestly, the understeer is a real daunting factor. But I mean, with it being 4-wheel drive, I mean, that is what we can expect, but it does feel a bit more aggressive when it comes to the understeer than a lot of other 4-wheel drive cars in the game. So when it comes to actually cornering, you are gonna need to take a bit of time to actually get used to the handling and way you're gonna be able to control and get the fastest lap times possible out of the Genesis. Now, when it comes to setting lap times around Kyoto Driving Park, well, it's not too shabby at all, with setting lap times around a 1 minute 35 second mark bone stock. And look, 1 minute 35, as I've said previously, is not a bad time at all, because you are gonna find vehicles that set their lap time being quite respectable when it comes to actually using it in events. Now, when it comes to the performance points or the amount of events you can use this vehicle in, well, you can find a good few that's around, but plus with custom races being a thing now, it really helps that the payouts has increased. Look, it's not drastic, but it does allow you to create custom races to actually use these vehicles. But don't forget, there are those Vision GT races consisting of all of a variety of Vision GT vehicles, and you can test it out against the others, which we are gonna do a little bit later on in this video. But I do need to mention that the Vision GT Genesis is a bit tricky, and it has its moments where you can end up in a barrier, so you do need to watch out, because it does oversteer every now and then. So that's enough talking about how the vehicle performs in its standard state. We need to see what mods we can actually do to this vehicle. Well, with it being a Vision GT car, you are gonna have no upgrades at all. This is what's been a part of the Vision GT cars forever. There's no upgrades that you can do to it, besides I think tire compound, and that's about it. So the performance figures are locked. Am I gonna complain about that? Absolutely not, because the vehicle's performance is really good. However, the brakes were the issue, and the fact that we can't increase or improve the brakes, yeah, it's a problem. But with us improving the tire compound, we should be able to get a lot more grip, which means we should be able to slow down a lot faster when it comes to going around corners. So when it comes to visual customization, there is none. Just like performance upgrades, with it being a Vision GT vehicle, you are not allowed to change the way the car looks, but you can slap on a livery, because I mean, paint doesn't really affect the aerodynamics of these vehicles. But regardless, you can find a gorgeous livery to go along with the gorgeous styling of the Genesis Vision GT. Now, when it comes to the vehicle, its performance on racing softs, well, it honestly fixes 90% of this car's problems. The car is able to just lay down the power a lot easier. It's able to just go and brake and just slow down so much better that it makes it feel like a whole new car. One simple mod was able to completely change this vehicle and make it what, in my opinion, is now my favorite Vision GT car. Because look, if we look at the previous Vision GT cars that we've received in past updates, for example the Ferrari Vision GT car, I had kind of high expectations for it and it let me down. There was just something about it that I didn't enjoy. Whereas this, it has a fun side, it has a quirky side, it looks gorgeous, it just performs the way you would want it to perform. Whereas the Ferrari was a bit too stiff for my liking. But this Genesis is honestly a fantastic vehicle. Now I know 90%, not even 90%, a lot of the community aren't big fans of Vision GT vehicles, but honestly, out of the bunch that I have tried, this is a really good one. This is a good example of what a Vision GT vehicle is. And for 1,000,000 credits, it's not the most outrageous price tag for this vehicle. This feels like a 1,000,000 credit vehicle. So yes, it's all fun, it's dandy, it's not completely broken like the Dodge Tomahawk, so it feels a bit more on the realistic side of things. I know it is a concept, so look, we are gonna need to see, because we have seen some other Vision GT cars that have come to the game actually become real things in real life. But hey, who knows, we might even see a few of these on the streets in a few years time. Now, as I said, when it comes to using this thing in events, well, we have two new events to go along with the Vision GT cars. We have one around Monza, which I honestly had such a blast with, because as I said, the car's acceleration is just unheard of. It's so good and it's so instant. It honestly feels like an electric car's acceleration, but you still get the amazing sound of whatever engine is in this, because the overall performance, the only thing that lets this car down is the braking system. If we could improve the brakes on it, this car would honestly be a 10 out of 10, but because the brakes are kind of on the bad side, yeah, I'm gonna have to notch a few points off of it. But still, regardless, this is a super fun, a perfect example of what a Vision GT car should be. So if you are in the market for a Vision GT vehicle, I tell you now, the Genesis Gran Berlinetta should be on the top of your list, because it's honestly a fantastic vehicle and I do not regret my purchase at all. So with all this being said, let me hear your opinion in the comment section about this vehicle. Are you a fan? You don't care about it? Let me know, let me hear your voice, and I will see you guys in the next one to this Muslim video. Peace.